Point shooting with the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 Carry Comp, Part 2. Recently, we've been doing more point shooting as of late out of our Bodyguard. Our previous video with the Bodyguard 2 was point shooting with the Bodyguard 2, and we saw that it was pretty darn effective point shooting at a full-size silhouette target. Let's do a little more point shooting today, this time with the Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp. And what I have put out there, I think they're half-size silhouette. I could have the size wrong. They're the smaller size silhouette, like if you were shooting at, well, these happen to be green, so you could say little green men. I don't know if UFOs exist, but I guess if they do, these would be the targets you'd practice against them. Anyway, here we go. Let's do a couple 12-round magazines point shooting at the left-hand little green man out there. I think it looks like we have 12 of 12 on the target with 10 of 12 in the 9 ring or better, and then 2 maybe in the 7 ring. These next 12 finish out our 2 12-round magazines. I'm going to do at the cranium zone of our little green man UFO target out there. Here we go. Okay. Maybe 8 of 10 of 12. It's hard to tell on the counts from back here. I'm going to say we probably have 2, at least 2, a little left of the cranium. But whether it's 8 of 10 or 10 of 12, or I should say 8 of 12 or 10 of 12 in the cranium, we'll have to determine with target cam. After shooting a 9mm before filming this video, the Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp really feels like it has no recoil today. Good times. For part 2 of our point shooting test with the Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp, rather than doing my natural where I'm going to be closer to my face in terms of the line of shooting with the firearm, I'm going to test what I'm going to call the Nicolas Cage from the hip shooting style. Now hopefully I don't bounce any off the wall or the floor. Luckily I have the crew standing at a vantage point where they can yell at me to stop if they think I'm aimed terribly. So, okay, here we go. I hit the target a few times.
Yeah, you were self-adjusting there more towards the end.
Okay, here's our target. This might be my first shot. I think I got one other one a little bit low, but 11 of 12 on the paper. And I think where some of these shots are a little misleading is that because I could see the hits on the paper, I could adjust my aim point. And I think the odds of that happening in, say, a defensive situation, not nearly as likely to be able to adjust like that. It seems like naturally, at least for me, when I do the Nicolas Cage from the hip shooting, that I naturally want to, shall we say, neuter the target, then put a hit really in the true vitals area.
Yeah, it goes back to the shooting that you see on Westerns is not,
it looks good for cinema.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing I noticed shooting with the Bodyguard more at my hip than say stretched out is because I was shooting the compensated version, I could actually feel the hot gas venting up. And it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was uncomfortable, but I could see it being potentially distracting in a self-defense situation if you were doing, shall we say, movie shooting.
Yeah.
Which I never, at least using my natural grip with my arms out in front of my face, I've never noticed any, shall we say, blowback or hot gas venting towards my face in that situation.
Yeah, if you look at this, your first shot would probably be catch somebody in the thigh, and maybe your second one maybe got him a little bit in the side.
So like in the hip or the love handle?
Top of the hip, where the stopper is.
But being able to see the hits and then self-adjust, I think makes it look better than reality.
Yeah.
So hopefully I never have to do movie shooting in a self-defense situation because it's going to go bad. During our 1,000 round review of Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp, if you watched that video, you would have seen that we did quite a bit of point shooting in that video while showing the firearm in action. In today's video, we expanded upon the point shooting with this firearm in what we're calling point shooting part 2. To begin the video, we fired at not a full-size silhouette. I want to say they're quarter-size or half-size silhouette. I forget the actual term. They're the 12-inch by 18-inch silhouettes that are quite a bit smaller than your full-size silhouette. We called it the Little Green Man UFO target in today's video. And as we saw, we were able to put the majority of our hits still center mass or in the cranium zone on that target just by doing point shooting, where I was not aiming down the sights, but I had the firearm raised up fairly close to eye level to where I could still get a good point on the firearm at my target. For the second part of today's video, instead of doing what I would call my preferred closer in line with my face point, I did more of what I would call, again, the Nicolas Cage shooting from the hip style of point shooting with a firearm. Now, we didn't put as many hits squarely in the center mass, though the vast majority of our hits were still on the target. Though, as you saw in the breakdown, there are some asterisks on there that help make that happen that I feel like probably don't happen in a real life situation, i.e., you probably don't have the luxury of seeing where your previous shot went to dial in your next shot in a real life situation. At least it's unlikely anyway, in my opinion. But even still, with practice, we saw that even from the hip, or I should say with more practice in my case, even from the hip, you're probably still going to be capable of putting some effective shots on your target, provided you got a little bit of practice in with that method. Now, I do recommend when you're practicing, like I did in that video, I had the crew with me to help make sure that I was on target before shooting, so that way we didn't abuse our range facilities and put shots into the walls, the floors, the ceiling, the target stands, etc., which you'll see a little bit of behind the scenes footage on that here in today's video. The other interesting note I would say on point shooting from the hip with this firearm is, if you look at other ported firearms by Smith & Wesson, at least ones that are in 9mm, like say the Smith & Wesson Easy 9mm Performance Center Edition that we recently did a first range report on, in the manual there's actually a ported barrel warning section that warns you to not fire that pistol from the hip. Interestingly enough, that section does not appear in the manual that ships with the Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp or that is available on the inner tubes. And as we saw in today's video, I was able to shoot that firearm, and while I commented that I could feel some of that hot gas hitting you in the face, it wasn't so much as uncomfortable as potentially distracting. Now, would I want to do it even closer to my body or angle towards my body? Obviously not. But at least if I had to do that Nicolas Cage shooting in a defensive situation, if I could overcome the distraction, I could at least effectively use the firearm, which I don't know if that's why Smith & Wesson doesn't have it in the manual. I'm going to assume it's probably going to appear in a future edition of the manual. Though, again, as we saw today, point shooting either up closer to your face or even down at Nicolas Cage style Western from the hip, still very possible to hit your target effectively when using the Bodyguard 2 Carry Comp. Good times. As we wrap up today's video, before we show you that behind the scenes footage, So I guess you could call this behind the scenes footage as well. Let me show you a fun little challenge drill that the crew and I did while we were wrapping up filming when filming this section. Granted, it's not very representative of a true self-defense situation, though when you're at ranges like the ones we frequent, where they really don't want you drawing from holsters or practicing your John Slick skills, it's something fun you can at least do at some places to do more than just traditionally put holes in paper. Okay, ready? Okay, the crew and I, to end the day, we're doing a fun little challenge, a competition, shall we say, with our, what we'll call our preferred carry firearms. We have a silhouette target set up at 21 feet from where I'm standing. We are going to do one shot each. And the setup is going to be, we're going to start at sort of a low ready, raise the firearm, take one shot at the target in sort of a slow, not really slow, but in a smooth manner that might emulate having to use your firearm in an ideal self-defense situation. We'll see if we can put a hit on the target and how well it goes. I'll start out. I'm using my Bodyguard 2 carry comp for this part. I believe the crew brought their Chief Special 38 Smith & Wesson. So here we go. It's in the 9 ring.
Okay, I just want to point out that I'm old. I'm shooting double action.
You say you're shooting double action?
Around. And I've had therapy the last month on my left shoulder. Something that old people are familiar with. So, distinct disadvantage, we'll see what happens. In fact, I'll do it as a double tap.
Oh, okay, so 2 shots for this one then.
2 shots.
Okay.
What's that?
Those are better. They're in the 9 ring.
Well, that's better than nothing. Go ahead, I'll see how bad I get beat.
After I shoot mine, do you want to switch guns and do a shot with the Bodyguard?
All right.
Okay. All right, crew call best 2 out of 3. They just did their 2 shots. Both their shots are in the 9 ring. I will do 2 shots with our Bodyguard, and we'll see if I can hopefully match that. Here we go.
Okay, my shoulder still hurts. This is a little itty bitty gun. I hardly have any practice with it.
Ready to fire.
God, the sights are small. I'm gonna shoot at the cranium.
Oh wow, okay, getting fancy. And I will do mine at the cranium as well.
I don't think I hit it.
What's that?
I don't think I hit it.
You got one in the neck. Your first one was in the neck, right about here.
Okay.
All right, I will do 2 as well. I will also aim at the cranium. My shots will be double action. Here we go. And he definitely kicked my butt on the gun switch test. I don't even know if my second one was on the paper. Okay, in the gun swapsy test, the crew put one in the neck, one a little left of the target. I shot a fantastic group, two right on top of each other, but a good foot to the right of where I was intending to hit. So I definitely lost the gun swap test.
Yep. For all of you folks out there that love 380, I don't know, if you're an old guy or an old gal, you might want to, get yourself a Smith & Wesson 38 or, one of the snub-nosed 22s.
So in this simple self-defense test,
I don't think.
if you didn't have any gun and you were gonna buy one, would you buy the Bodyguard or the Chief Special?
Chief Special.
Because I think you did all your shots double action also.
I did, yeah.
And your double action shots were much, much better than my double action shots.
Yeah, it's a lost art.
Yeah, really. Whereas I would say, like say in my situation, between the two, it's hard for me not to pick the Bodyguard when I can put my hits center mass on the target pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Of course, I have a lot of practice with that gun too, so it makes sense.
It's just a generational difference.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer.
No. Whatever works best for you, I guess, would be the right answer.
Yep. Well, that was fun today.
Well, anyway, that seems like the perfect spot to end today's video. If you enjoyed today's presentation, like the video, share it with your friends and family. Those things are free, and they really help the channel greatly. If you'd like to help us make more of these videos in the future, look into becoming a member. Fred and I really appreciate you getting this far. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a nice night. To me, that feels like I could be in the 9 range.
No.
Not close?
No.
Which way do I need to go?
The barrel is pointing down. The way you were holding it, I think you probably bounced it off the concrete.
Is it better now?
It is better now.
Okay.